Hey guys, so for today's video I thought I would do something that I saw on, I don't know how I came across it, but it was a different channel altogether, and yeah, it was the two girls in question were, there was like different questions that were coming up, and they were talking about grief and talking about their loved ones passing away, and there was different questions and all that. And it really got me interested because I've had that experience, or you know, so I thought I would do it. Don't mind me while I drink my coffee. But yeah, um, I haven't got anything, fancy to sort of like fancy editing thing to, you know, put the questions up or whatever. I'm gonna try, but I doubt it'll work. But in any case, I wrote down the questions that I originally wrote down on my phone. I'm also gonna link the YouTube channel that inspired me to do this video as well. So yep, here we go. So the first question is, how long ago did your loved one pass away? And it has now been about, what, over 11 years? I'm not good at maths actually. 2007, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So that's what? 14 years it's been. My dad died in 2006. I was in year 8 at the time. So yeah, completely whole different sort of era really. Like, the early 2000s were a lot different to what the world's like now. The next question is, how old were you? I was around 12 or 13. Yeah. Yeah, I would have been in year 8, so I would have been in the middle. Like, I think I may have, yeah, because I was going into year 9, so I would have been about 13, yeah, 13, going on to 13. Sorry, it's confusing because my dad died in March, and my birthday's in December, so it's kind of like trying to work out how old I would have been. So I reckon I would have been about 12, going on 13. So yeah, an interesting time, just in the middle of school still. Yeah, I'm the youngest of 3 of us. So my sister would have been 13, 14, and my brother would have been in his early 20s, I think. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Next question is, do you remember the day you found out? Yes. It was a Saturday morning, I believe. The house phone rang, and it was very early Saturday morning. It was about 8 o'clock, I think. Maybe. Something like that. But I remember it being like early morning. House phone rang. I can't remember who answered it though. It was either my mum or my brother. One of the two. And the hospital had basically just said that, to come in because his heart had stopped during the night. So they didn't reckon he would last the rest of the day. Which ended up being true. But yeah, we pretty much just, we got up, got ready, and went straight to the hospital to see him, which wasn't a pretty sight because it just, you always remember your loved ones, how they were at home, or whenever you ever see them, you don't ever see them, you don't ever think they'll ever be ill. But he'd been ill for a while though. Yeah, like, okay. Yeah, so, um, I always remember him, you know, just laughing and joking at home and, like, taking us on, like, little outings to, like, the shops or to, the city centre. Um, but yeah, like, we'd noticed, or I'd noticed anyways, I don't know whether, I can't really speak on behalf of my other siblings or my mum, but, you know, I think probably the year before he passed away, like, I'd noticed that his skin colour had changed a little bit, um, and I think it was, I can't remember if he was my social worker or like a family support officer, but it was a bloke that was like pestering my dad to be like, you're not well, blah blah blah. Being in mind, my dad was one of these people that hated hospitals. I don't think he ever went to the doctors. I don't think he ever went to the dentist either. Like, I think he was just like, that was it. Like, he'd always make us go to the doctors or make us go to the dentist or whatever. But like, I don't know what it was that made him hate hospitals or whatever. But that was that. From my understanding, he had jaundice on his lip. He was jaundice, and he had oh, what was it now? He had something on his liver, basically, like from years of drinking and smoking a lot. Um, but yeah, that's how he passed away. Like, they tried to sort it out. They tried to drain it all and that, but I guess by the time he went and was seen and all that, I think it was just a little bit too late. But you can never really predict them things, really. I think I remember going to the hospital with him for one of his appointments, if I remember rightly. It might have been, I don't know, something on the lines of that. I was still quite young, but yeah, I'm gonna move on to the next question. Um, is there one particular memory that sticks out? Oh yeah, there's loads, I think. Um, yeah, I still remember the day he died. I don't think I'd ever forget that. But I just remember like things like just like little things of like when we were kids and me getting up when he'd come back from the pub, pretending that I couldn't sleep, and we'd go out and walk the dog. I'd be in my pajamas, and then I was allowed to stay up until them two went to bed. Depending on if it was a school night, I wasn't allowed, but if it wasn't, no, it was fine. Um, just like him putting me to bed and like um brushing my hair as a kid. Um, yeah, loads of memories that I've got. Like, um, what else? What else sticks out? I think the main thing that really sticks out is when I was about 7, I broke my leg. I got run over, and then I was in hospital for a week. And then after that, I had. Oh no, it was after that. Yeah, after it was the week I got my cast off, and he took me to the hospital, and like in them days there was one seat here and one seat there on the bus, and we got on the bus and we just sat right at the front, and he gave me one of his mints and all that, and it was just a nice little day out, just me and him, and I hold his hand, and he'd call me Smelly Nelly, and just little things like that. But yeah, there's loads, I think. that stick out, but I think if I try and remember them all, I'm going to get even more upset than I already am. So I'm going to move on to the next question. Do you get flashbacks? I don't know if they count as flashbacks or not because I dream about him. Like, I have dreams where, like, I remember probably like a month after his funeral, I had this dream where he just, like, nothing had changed. Like, he hadn't died, and he came home one night from the pub and came in the house and everything was fine, everything was normal. But it was just a dream, which was shit because it felt so real. So I don't know. I don't know whether that classes as flashbacks. If it does, then I do. Like I have them quite often actually. Well, I won't say I have them as much now. Now I'm older. I'm 27 now, so can't say I have them now that often. But I did when I was younger. That was like quite a lot. It was like every other month I'd have their dreams about, it was just all a dream and it was him coming home and everything was fine and all that. Next question. How did you get out of bed the next morning after it happened? Honestly, I don't know. I don't remember. The whole month of March of that year was just a complete blur. With great difficulty, I think. It wasn't easy, but I think we sort of tried to act normal for my mum, really. Sort of act strong and, sort of go back to like our normal sort of ways, really. Like, we'd do whatever in the house, get everything ready for school the next day. I think my uncle came over actually, which is my dad's brother. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know, I don't remember, but I don't know. I can tell you it was difficult going back to school. I know that much. Like the Monday, going back to school because I think my mum just wanted us to sort of, you know, have like a normal life really. But that was fucking difficult. Like, how the hell do you concentrate after that? And then to make things worse, I think I was in French. Did she teach French? No. Yeah, she taught French. Yeah, I was in French in year 8, and we had to write this thing in French about family. And I was like, well, what do I write? Like, my dad's just died. What do I write? How do I think I ended up asking my teacher, how do I write that my dad died? In French or whatever. But school was definitely difficult. Like year 8, the whole last few months of year 8 were really difficult. And then it was some holidays. So that was interesting. When did you start to feel normal again? Honestly, I don't know. I don't think I ever did. I've told this to people before, but I kind of, how do I explain it? I kind of put on like an act because I didn't want my mum to know that I was upset too, and because obviously we were under the not so watchful eye of social services, I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if we were going to be taken back into care. I didn't know what was going to happen now. There was never that sort of reassurance, but I didn't speak to anyone. So I guess on that part, it was kind of my fault, because in my head, I was like, are we going to get taken back into care? Is this going to happen? Is that going to happen? Are we going to get another social worker that's going to be like, oh, we can see you're not coping, blah, blah, blah. Let's do something about it, or whatever. I don't know. But I don't think I ever did. Like, it's like, well, how do you go back to normal? I think there's like, I don't think there is like a normal as such. I think you sort of create a new normal, because the normal that you knew has now changed. It's like, well, nothing's ever normal now. Well, it is now, because obviously everything's changed, but it's like a new normal now, because the normal that we were used to was, you know, us going out with, you know, both having both parents in the house, and you know, you'd hear, you know, you'd know when my dad was getting up, you know what time he was getting up, you knew if they were both awake, because you could hear my mum laughing because my dad was tickling her feet or whatever, or just little things like that, really. What is the next question? So the next question is, what is the main thing that is getting you through grief? I don't know. I think probably, I don't know. It's a hard one to say, because I don't think I dealt with it properly. I sort of acted like everything was okay when it wasn't. You know, I sort of became the person that wanted to be invisible. I didn't want to be seen. I just became that sort of like, you know, I was very quiet as a kid, and became quite a quiet person as a teenager as well. And so, nothing really changed from there. But I think the main thing that got me through the grief in the early days was probably school, because it was like a distraction. Yeah, like that was my distraction. My distraction at school was school, going to school every day. And then the weekends was, I don't know, but there was church, so that was alright. The pastor at the time was like, he found out about my dad, and he was like, oh, I'm so sorry, and blah blah blah. I'm like, mate, I don't need your apology, just leave me alone. But I ended up becoming quite close to him and his wife, which an absolute fucking fail. Excuse my French, but it was true. But yeah. The last question is, does it get better? Um, Again, I don't know. I think you just learn to live with it. I think it kind of creeps back up on you now and again. Like, I've got some of my dad's old shirts. I found some old pictures of him. Just a lot of things, like, you know, things in the house that are still the same, and that. The one thing that brings back more memories is, hold on a minute, let me just put him down. Is this guy. So I got him when I was a kid, probably about 4 or 5. My dad, I think he found it somewhere, or someone gave it him, but then he gave it to me, and then as I got older I took his shorts off for no reason, but he'll always be with me. Like, he's kind of like one of my main memories of him, of my dad, so yeah. But yeah, that's all the questions. Sorry if this was not really informative. I don't know how to sort of explain what I want to say really. But yeah, I hope you like this video, and if you've got any more questions for me, I will try and answer them as best I can. So yeah, thanks guys, bye.